on the Petrucci forum, somebody posted the link, and I was like, oh, here we go again. Another player pressed it. Holy shit.
Because you'd seen something on the MySpace, you were like, is it true you're in Southport? And I was like, yeah. And you were like, no way. I basically live like 3 streets down. I think you were like, okay. It's because people are like, oh, it's economy.
Yeah,
it's John Petrucci alternate pick.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were like, okay, how'd you like them out?
Yeah.
And then you played it alternate pick. I remember watching that and I was like, oh, that's good.
Always musical, always. So my dad's a guitar player, so there were always guitars around the house and keyboards, synths, and all sorts. And we used to sing every Sunday. I was more interested in smelling, the resin or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, because you'd have the rosin. Yeah, you'd get you'd open it up and you'd have your bow. Because I had a violin as well, and then you get the little block. And you'd be there going. Someone going, is it Christmas or what? What's going on in there? Because I'd play it like 50 times.
Oh, really?
So it's not even Christmas, mate. What's going on?
And eventually it did die down, but that was a brilliant moment because it was kind of like a fuck you to the musical director.
That's brilliant.
Because she really hated me for no apparent reason. This kid vampire, his brother's in bed in hospital, and he floats in through the fog. This kid, and you can see his eyes like, it's scary as hell. Yeah. And he goes up to the window and starts scratching it.
Head chorister, survived 5 years in Holy Trinity Church, and should I say it? Didn't get molested. I had a very good career. I got away with it. You need the clap. Yeah. And rolling.
You got the clap.
I had a guy, I remember doing this recording session in London for an album. And the guy who, he was the engineer, but he was running all the kit, and he'd say it so lovely. He'd be like, trying not to put anyone under pressure, and he'd just go like this, and rolling. And I remember everyone would just be like, oh God, at first it was so nice, but then we made a bit of a joke about it that we'd be there because it was a live setup, 4 of us.
Yeah.
Because it was jazz, and we were playing. And I remember we just I'd be sat there almost anticipating it, and then you'd just get and go, and rolling. And I'd just be like, and I'd mess up straight away.
Oh God.
I had to say to him, I was like, can you just say rolling? And he's like, yeah, sure.
Rolling.
Oh God, no, we can't do that. So yeah, we ended up having to just make him wave his hand. Like that.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Anyway, I digress. I apologise. Right, let's go. Right, you ready? Can I clap again?
You've done it. You don't need to do it again. You have done it, haven't you?
Yeah, I have done it. Oh, I don't need to keep clapping.
No, just once. That's it. So we can sync everything, sync the audio.
Listen to you.
Listen to me.
No, how
to me. Nah,
right.
Stupid.
Okay. Right. Well, anyway, thank you, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, joining us.
Back again.
But we're actually talking about, and this is going to be a real interesting thing for me because it's really delving back into how we've come to know each other for years. So we'll actually delve through it now because I think it's brilliant. And there's some real freak occurrences.
There are.
Of just bizarreness
that
have brought us together. Not just back then, recently as well.
Recently,
which we'll talk about with Chris and all of that. But can you refresh my memory? Well, the most bizarre thing, if we forget about the town for now,
okay,
because that comes apparent later, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But I was actually very much I wasn't online or anything back in my sort of heyday. I was a performer, played in bands, but I played as a session player, studio player, locally and in London and stuff. But I didn't do anything on the internet because I was a little bit I think I was just a bit antisocial. I don't know. I just didn't really want to do it. But you'd already really started to take over. The YouTube thing was reasonably new. I want to say early 2000s.
What, YouTube?
Yeah, no, when you were really, making a state, and then you randomly came across me on something.
Yeah, it was the Petrucci forum. So YouTube started in 2005. That's when YouTube kicked off.
So it would have been a bit later.
So it was just a couple of years later. So I was on the Petrucci forum with a whole bunch of players. like Andy Wood and Martin Miller, and Pliny was on there. Andy James.
Andy James.
Yeah, sorry if I forget anybody.
Andy Wood.
Yeah, and we were all just posting stuff, and we were all getting to know each other, on that Petrucci forum. That's how I know Andy and Andy James.
All from the
Petrucci forum.
Again, I missed out. I had nothing. I didn't even know.
But people, when YouTube came out, it was an easier way of posting video clips, because back then you'd have to upload it. If you had a website, you'd have to upload a video to your website in order for people to view it. But on YouTube, you could just upload it, put a link, bang, and just stream it. So I was watching, a whole bunch of players, and I was like, yeah, it's all right. That's all right. Then your video came up, but someone else had posted it, of course, saying, check this guy out.
Yeah, because I'd recorded. I was teaching a lot back then, part-time. And a friend of mine, very close friend, Mr. Chris Aldridge. Hi, Chris. We'll make fun of him later. But I'd done this video because I'm sure I was like teaching him at the beginning, because it was Groove or Die.
Groove or Die.
Andy the almighty Andy Timmons.
Yeah, Groove or Die.
My favourite thing he'd ever done is Ear Ecstasy 2 album. Oh, I could talk for a year about that album.
Really?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. But Groove or Die, and I'd just gone through it because I'd taught him the initial phrase, and then he was like, can you do me a video of it? I was like, okay. So you see me do it, and I'm in this dodgy room live with my Court guitar.
I wonder what the neighbours thought of you.
That's another story. We'll get to that. Yeah. Shut up. Yeah. Anyway, but I did it for Chris, and he uploaded it on YouTube, and it's still on there, whatever it is. It was on his YouTube channel, Chris Aldridge. And then from there, it must have got reposted and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember seeing his username, and I thought, that's not his name. So then I put two and two together and realised he must have filmed it. So, but anyway, on the Petrucci forum, somebody posted the link, and I was like, oh, here we go again. Another player pressed it. Holy shit. And the fact as well that there was no drums, no rhythm track, and it was just brutal.
Yeah.
And afterwards, and also what I loved as well is your face at the end.
Yeah, because I was like, oh my God.
Like that, and just like, I feel exactly the same way, but for the, just phenomenal.
I'm sorry about that.
But everybody on that forum was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, it's let me explain myself.
Yeah.
Because again, it's fairly aggressive, full on, raw and all that, but it didn't mean it wasn't a performance, it was just to go through to give to Chris and all that.
Yeah.
However, it just shows it is the kind of thing that we've been talking about, which is the old school grip it and rip it and kick him in the face and all that.
Yeah.
And it's not the most, it's not a melodic piece. It's not about that. It's about
energy. Energy.
Yeah, and the feel and all that. I'm like, feel that. I love it, and that's why Andy Timmons did it. He did it himself. He said, I just wanted to put a track on there to keep all the Yngwie fans happy.
Oh, really?
Because he's actually obviously a very diverse musical genius.
Of course.
But he can play like that as well.
Yeah.
But that was it. So you'd seen that.
Yeah.
And then you somehow got in touch with me. I can't remember how it was, but again, it was.
Yeah, it took me about 3 years to recover from that video, and what happened was I think I was just browsing the internet. It was either MySpace or Facebook at that time. Probably MySpace, because I didn't use Facebook up until a bit later, because I wasn't never keen on Facebook, but you have to do these things, I guess. But I saw your profile. I was like, oh, holy crap, that's that guy. That's that guy. And then I saw where you were from, and I was like, what?
How bizarre! So we have to tell them, considering you'd seen it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And how randomly, you're
stumbled
watching
over
stuff. Stumbled on the Petrucci forum, YouTube. But then, obviously, with the internet, it's people dotted all around the world, all that kind of thing. And then you looked on there and you'd seen that I was actually from. I'll actually explain.
Okay.
This is great because you messaged me and you were like, seen the video, it's amazing. And I was like, oh, thanks. And then I watched some of your stuff because I clicked on it. I was like, oh, that's very nice. Thank you very much. And I watched on there and I was like, I know this guy. I've seen him play in his, because you had like a gold. It looked like a JS.
It's a JS 2000.
Was it
Champagne Gold?
Champagne Gold. That's it. And I'd seen a load of things. But the one I remember seeing that I was like, whoa! It was. Don't tell me. I know what it is. It's in here somewhere. It's the Dream Theater. 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, the first song.
No.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. I mean, it was the arpeggios from the first song.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what's it called?
The Glass Prison.
Glass Prison.
Glass
That's
Prison.
it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I apologise.
Because I did two videos.
Two.
One was the first solo in Petrucci's Glasgow Kiss from Suspended Animation, you know, his solo album.
Yes. Yeah.
So I did that with the same guitar. Then I did, not long after that, the Glass Prison.
Glass Prison. But what I saw is you'd done it like economy, suite, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I think you were like, okay. Because people are like, oh, it's economy.
Yeah,
It's John Petrucci alternate pick.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were like, okay, how'd you like them apples? And then you played it alternate pick. I remember watching that and I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And you know that kind of thing that I honestly get inspired by a lot of stuff and I love it and I embrace it. But every now and then I'll see something and I'll be like, oh shit, that's good.
Yeah.
And it does scare me.
I know that feeling.
But it's a great scare. I'm like, oh, I want to be able to.
It's inspiring, but also at the same time, you're just like, oh
God,
shit.
yeah. Oh no, I find that. You know when you find out these players and you're like, oh God, he's brilliant. Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like, I hate him. I hate him. I love him. I hate him. Oh God. But then that's one of our strengths is we're the type that
reminds me of me. Now I really hate it.
I really hate it.
That's it.
Anyone know what that's from? In Vino Veritas.
In Vino Veritas.
Now I really hate him. Apparently, Mr. Graham here is an educated man. Now I really hate him. So digressing. You'd seen that. I'd seen that. So we knew each other from seeing it.
Yeah.
Seeing each other play on YouTube and had been like, hate him. Love him, hate him.
Yeah, exactly.
But then randomly, because you'd seen something on the MySpace, you were like, is it true you're in Southport? And I was like, yeah. And then you were like, you're not going to believe this. You were like, where are you? I was like, oh, I live over like Windsor Roadway. You know, back then anyway. When was this? This was in the 2000, early 2000. And you were like, no way. I basically live like 3 streets down. I was like, What? And you were like, yeah, I'm living pretty much just down the road from you, like 5 minutes away. And I'm like, what are the odds of that? How freaky is that? And we went to the same gym and everything, just didn't even realize it.
Spooky.
Very spooky. But then met up and had this whole like, how the hell? Because our backgrounds, our interests, our education, so very, very similar. We went off in certain, electrically, stayed very, had very, very similar influences, and then had a whole acoustic side that we kind of veered off, but always came back to the electric.
Yeah. Well, I remember when you visited where I was living in Southport, and I just bought not long before one of those Cigano gypsy jazz guitars.
One, with the D hole.
Yeah. And I shot a video of you playing it in my living room. Can you remember that?
I do, yeah. And I did like Django's Waltz.
Yeah, you taught me. What did you teach me?
That's it, yeah. Django's Waltz. I can't. Montagna sent.
Oh right, yeah.
And it's the rest stroke thing, which is again very similar to classical-esque, just kind of going the wrong way.
Yeah,
with the rest stroke.
That's it. So. Yeah, that was just spooky, isn't
that bizarre? But unfortunately, back then I was kind of just about coming out of the musical scene, and I was like, I'm kind of not really doing it. But from then, because I'd had the gig offer for Red Beach.
Yeah, what was Tone World?
What was Tone World? Yeah, it's like it was a very high end shop performance at a venue in Manchester.
Yeah. Hangouts, Manchester.
And they kindly offered me the gig to support, and I was just like, I'm not really. But I was like, do you know who would be brilliant for this? And I was like, a buddy of mine, Rick, he'd be brilliant. He'd be getting, and then you went and did the gig.
I did,
and you performed. Reb was there. It was brilliant.
It was great.
So, unfortunately, we came together there. Real good friendship. Started a kind of musical awakening, but then I kind of drifted off.
Yeah,
because I did other things. You carried on and took over the world to the guitar, but
almost.
Even though, oh yeah, and then obviously a couple of veer here and there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we never lost contact.
No,
we've pretty much stayed, like you say, best musical friends since.
Yeah,
but only in this last 6 months are we like, right, let's get on with it and do all that. So, question for you: origins, coming back then, because when we both met up there, we were both like, I guess, very technically developed and proficient and all that. But I'm worrying. No, not worrying at all. I'm wondering about the musical origins, because I can remember my first inspirational moments regarding guitar and music in general. I was just wondering when yours first kicked in. I'm curious to know whether it was with a guitar, because it wasn't guitar for me initially. I found guitar eventually.
Yeah.
I played a lot of different instruments before finding guitar.
Yeah.
But was yours family oriented? Was it where you were growing up? Did you see someone playing an instrument, or were you always musical, or did you kind of grow into it?
Always musical, always. So my dad's a guitar player, so there were always guitars around the house and keyboards, synths, and all sorts. And we used to sing every Sunday songs. Yes. And we'd have to learn, loads of different tunes. I remember singing Elvis tunes and, all the old stuff. And that was a tad later, but I listened to Genesis Trick of the Tail when I was 3. Yeah. So we listened to it, myself, my brother, my sister, and we just listened to it over and over and over. So much so that on the B-side there was a little scratch that sometimes would repeat, and that became part of my brain.
Do you ever do that where you play a song back in your head? People will think that's like autistic as hell. Yeah. I do it all the time. I'll sit there. I used to do it in high school. I'd be sat there. I still remember sitting in religious education, and like I wasn't listening at all. So what I did was, at the time I was playing Fire Garden, Steve Vai in my head.
Oh yeah.
I remember just actually playing through like the one of the tracks, the Fire Garden suite.
Yeah.
There you go. I'd be there like that, looking at the teacher going like this, but I'm listening to all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But did you actually listen to it and then you'd have the skip in your head?
Oh, absolutely. So anytime I heard it away from that actual vinyl, I expected the skip to come. So it was in my head.
It's implanted there.
Absolutely. So that was the biggest inspiration for me, and that's one of my favorite albums as well. Absolutely, to this day. So I still listen back. But I started violin when I was 7.
Yeah. You recorders as well in school?
Not really. No. So it was violin, but I kind of drifted off because I started to get into sports as you do as a kid, and then you just your interest in it wanes a little bit. So I was more interested in smelling the resin or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, because you'd have the rosin. Yeah, you'd get you'd open it up and you'd have your bow. Because I had a violin as well, and then you get the little block. And you'd be there going.
So that was when I was 7.
We're both weird blokes, man.
Screwed up.
Yeah,
but in a good way.
I used to do that as well. Yeah.
Wow, that is spooky.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I still remember because it was you'd open the case and it was like a red sort of felt inside.
Yeah.
The violin and the resin, because it was like an orange. It looked like, it always made me think of like Jurassic Park when you see the mosquito in the
mosquito in the
amber.
Amber thing. Yeah.
You'd be there going. Yeah. You imagine that actually getting a little bit high.
I know. That's probably what I was trying to do at 7 years old. So after then, I got into synths. So because my dad bought a Roland Juno 60, and I used to run home from school during the lunch hour, put headphones on, and just make all sorts of sounds and, play tunes, like Axel F and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Learn that, and this was all just, making it up on the spot. Kind of improvising it. Working it out by ear. So I used to love that. That's why I love synth to this day. But then I started to learn drums a little bit later, and then got into guitar at 17. So
in that epic, that music goes right the way back then. I had similar. My dad played guitar a little bit, not very, very little. He played when he was younger and then sort of stopped. But he had like a classical guitar lying about somewhere. But it wasn't easily accessible. But I remember my Uncle Albie Beat, just in case he watches this, you're right, Al. How's it going, Beat? Smashing great. He's he was. I used to go around the house. I used to have a gold Les Paul hanging on the wall.
Wow.
But it was precious, and I remember I used to sort of look at it, and then when no one was looking, I'd go past and go, zing.
Really?
Like hit the strings and be like, whoa.
Jeez.
He did. I've talked about him on a video I did ages ago where he got me a guitar and tried to get me into it really young, but I couldn't quite do it. It was too difficult. But my first musical thing that they noticed was they had a piano as well. That he was very musical.
Yeah.
But I remember being so small that I'd reach up to the keys, I'd mess around with them, and it was because of clearly like a natural ability of understanding. I wouldn't know at the time what it's called, but obviously intervals and intervallic, changes and scales or whatever. But the fact that I messed around with the white keys, and I figured out. I still remember it was "Good King Wenceslas last look on the feast of it." I was going
right,
and I figured it out myself. But I remember, like at the time, no one really understood that was a very natural musical beginner, whatever. I think all I got was someone going, "Is it Christmas or what? What's going on in there?" Because I'd play it like 50 times.
Oh, really?
So it's not even Christmas, mate. What's going on? It's June, But obviously they did look into that later on, and they were like, "Oh, he's quite musical there." So I did keyboard and messed around with it a little bit. But again, I was in the choir. Holy Trinity Choir for 5 years, which we'll get into later on.
Classical.
Yeah, classic. Yeah, did a lot of classical study. Did St. John's Passion.
St. John's Passion.
Performed that.
Brilliant.
Cathedral, went round the country, made it all the way to head chorister.
Brilliant. Wow.
As we've said before.
Who would have thought that?
Exactly. Head chorister, survived 5 years in Holy Trinity Church, and should I say it? Didn't get molested. I had a very good career. I got away with it. No one bothered me. It was.
So you never woke up sore.
I was too ugly. I wasn't good looking enough.
Too ugly.
But let me say. So the musical education did actually start there. Proper education, because learn how to read, understanding the different clefs, the treble clefs. I went from alto, tenor.
Yeah.
Eventually, I didn't get to bass, but I ended up, soprano, alto, tenor.
Yeah.
Looked at the clefs, understanding the actual, the breves and semi-breves, dotted minims, darling.
Of course.
Alcoda, DS alcoda.
Of course.
Totally lost nowadays.
Yeah.
For guitar anyway,
Yeah,
not for
yeah.
other instruments. But and then I remember just having all of this stuff, and violin, but none of it really hit me. It was when I walked into my school, Birkdale High School, and I saw Liam Laws, a lad who was just in there, and he had a black Encore guitar, so it looked like a Strat, and he had a little amp, and it had distortion. It's probably really fizzy and awful, like looking back. But all he could do really was an E power chord, but he could mute it. And he was just in there going, choo, 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 choo. A bit like Enter Sandman or something. And I remember seeing that and just being like, ooh. I had like the musical horn. I was like, what the hell is that? I don't understand, but I want it.
Musical boner.
Yeah, I was like, it's just like, it hit me like no other instrument had. I love music, but that guitar, I was like, that's what I want to do. And I went over, I was like, can I have a go? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Oh, nice one.
No, of course not. Sorry for the brief interruption, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to bring your attention to the fact that this series of the podcast is sponsored by Rick and I. And you can actually find links to our corresponding websites below. And we have on there plenty of tuition material. Myself, I have a online school/academy/my method may or may not be online, but you can have a good look at that. And thank you very much for your help and support, and we will continue on to world domination. Thank you. Of course he doesn't know.
Jesus.
But I went and told my dad. My dad got really happy about it, and they got me one for Christmas.
Oh, nice one.
But to this day, can I say about my old man?
Yeah, cool.
Is he's the most encouraging, supportive guy of my musical career, and still bails me out to this day. Like he's helped me through everything.
Yeah.
But he'll still say to me, no matter what I kind of achieve musically, playing wise and put out there, he's like, "Can you play Tales of the Riverbank yet? Hey, what's going on?" Because I'm literally just playing all this mental stuff, and he's like, "Where's Tales of the Riverbank?" Eh? Do you remember? He wants me to play the dum jinga jinga dum jinga.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I haven't got around to that yet.
Not yet.
I'll put it on my list. But guitar, when did it hit you? When did it bite you? Explain. Where was it? Who was it?
Well, it's the real change. The first real main change, because when I first started playing, it was all, depressing Smiths songs. I still love the Smiths, and I still love the Cure. It was those two, and I remember finally working out one of the Smiths songs from Strange Ways, Here We Come, and I was just like, man, I'm so good.
Oh yeah,
I'm so good.
I'm amazing.
But then I came home once, and my brother had his headphones on playing Master of Puppets,
Was it really?
on his headphones, and I was just like, what you listening to that for? And he said, have you actually listened to it? I said, no. He said, well, why don't you do just that?
Wow.
So I said, all right then, I'll listen to the whole album. Went upstairs, put the headphones on, listened to the album, and I went, I'm going to listen to that again.
That's pretty good.
And then after the second listening, I was like, Jesus, all the parts in it, that go from one bit to another great bit to another even better bit. Mm-hmm. That was it. I changed, my musical direction.
Yeah.
So it was really Metallica that started that, but the actual soloing was Satriani.
Yeah.
Satriani.
I had similar with, I'd listened to all my dad's records and CDs, but it was the majority of that. He liked old school, he liked the Stones, some Beatles to a degree. But it was Pink Floyd, listening to, the Dave Gilmour stuff, I Wish You Were Here album and all of that. And the Wall album, that was epic. And there was rock and roll stuff, but then they got me proper lessons in Southport, mate.
In Southport.
With Darren Hurst.
Oh, right,
who again
yeah.
We'll talk about, because again we both know him, and he's
I did meet him.
Without his sort of guidance early on, I probably would have still progressed, but he really turned me on to this. Like, he literally gave me the he was like, you need to listen to this, mate. Yeah, because at the time, I think it was, when would have that been? It would have been the late 90s. No, it was still, I think it was coming into, it was the grunge thing, and it started, the origins of Britpop, like Oasis were coming out and stuff, which I've talked about how at the time I hated it, because I was like, it's just pentatonic boring, because I'd heard these other players, but looking back now, I'm the biggest Noel Gallagher fan,
Yeah.
But it was the Surfing with the Alien album, and I put that on. He said, just have a look at that. And I still remember it. The nostalgia is amazing. I still remember holding the CD, and it was just the white, the Silver Surfer, but it wasn't silver, it was white. Remember, because it was just mass-produced CD, and they didn't want to do the silver artwork properly. Yeah. So it was just a white guy, the surfboard, and then the red and yellow whatever.
Yeah.
And I took it home. I was like, I'm not even sure what this is. There's no pictures or anything. And I put it on, and it starts with Surfing with the Alien. And I was just like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
All the way through, every single one of them. Ice Nine, Crushing Day. Yeah. Always with me, always with you.
Amazing.
But then all the way through, Monster, Satch Boogie. Jesus.
Yeah.
Blew my head. And then to finish off with Echoes.
Oh, I love
which
that.
Which again has to be one of my favourite pieces, and it's the changes in the chorus.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It can't be beaten, man. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
It's just beautifully written.
Can't be beaten. And in an odd time signature,
Yeah.
you don't even notice.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
But
5/4.
That's true musicianship. 5/4. You'd never really understand that because you're listening to the music.
Yeah.
But again, brings us back to Genesis.
Yeah.
Turn it on.
Yeah. Well,
time
if
signature.
you look at A Trick of the Tail as an example, that is just full of crazy time signatures.
But you don't.
Incredible harmony.
But it's a musical piece, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And
not a
the other difference as well is that we listened to the entire album from beginning to end every time, not single songs.
No, you had no choice.
The whole album.
Yeah.
And that's gone these days.
I'm guilty of it too, man. Like,
so am I.
I do. You know, I'm modern. Modern age. You got your Spotify.
Put one track on.
Do you know what is bad? Is I have the on repeat. I just listen to that, and so I listen to the same 20 songs over and over again, but they're all brilliant.
So do I, yeah.
But do you remember? I can remember early on the fact that music has such an effect, because I still can't listen to the whole album, but unfortunately, so my dad would just let me listen to the music all night, and he did have some records. So he had some of the CDs and he had the records. But what I did was sometimes he'd have the old vinyl and he'd have the CD case. So I'd put the CD on, but then I'd look at the vinyl pictures and the books. And I said, mate, your memories are that big. It's coming back now, isn't it? But do you remember Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
And I remember listening to that, and I must have been like 8 or 9 or something, and reading the book.
Yeah.
And I was terrified.
Yeah.
Purely because of the music and the sound of the Martians. And the guitar and the phaser pedal and the...
Yeah.
And even now, there's a track on that, Dead London. I still can't listen to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Considering everything I've done in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, you'd think I'm brave. No. Honestly, put that on, and it's the harmony of it.
Yeah.
And when Richard Burton's there going, I'm walking through the streets of London, bodies in the road. You know, and you're there and you hear the little, these little like piano bits and I'm thinking about
creepy.
it. Like,
Creepy. I feel like that about... I mean, I still love it, but films like The Shining, you know, Wendy Carlos, who did the
Red Rum,
the music, it's just spooky. Same with The Clockwork Orange, she did the music for that.
Right. And without that music, it doesn't have the same impact.
Absolutely. And she did Switched On Bach, which was she was the first person to actually approach it in a sit with synths. And who's the Leonard Bernstein? I think he's giving a lecture and he talks about how amazing that album is, because a lot of the purists would shriek in horror.
Awful.
Yes. How dare she?
How dare she?
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
But I see what you mean about sort of that kind of music.
I maintain it. I'd say it makes. It can be. I'd have to talk because again, we'll get into all the career highlights at some other point. But I might have been involved in a few soundtracks, darling.
Yeah, I bet. Yes,
we had a couple of worked with a few composers.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
there's a great scene, by the way. While we're talking about it, did you ever see Salem's Lot?
No.
Oh, it's a vampire.
No, I haven't.
Vampire.
I've heard of it.
Well, it's a mini series that was in 2 parts. Came out in the early '80s, and directed by Toby Hooper. And the music at one section, this kid vampire, his brother's in bed in hospital, and he floats in through the fog, this kid, and you can see his eyes, like, it's scary as hell. Yeah. And he goes up to the window and starts scratching it. And the music, honestly, even now,
it gets you.
I'm just like, oh my God.
I was going to say I'd maintain that when it comes to the music, I'd want to say it's 70-80% of the communication.
Absolutely.
The soundtrack tells you how you should feel.
Totally.
Case in point, if you ever watch, no one does nowadays, no one watches daytime TV, but remember back in the day, there'd be something on, you'd be, in the mornings, they'd have like, I remember because I was at college at one point and I'd be at home working on the music stuff, and there'd be like Jeremy Kyle would be on. Young Crikey, the Young Circuit.
Yeah, with
soundtrack.
Toby Brucheno, I think was his partner.
Yeah, that's right. But you'd then get an advert come on about the puppies, and you need to give money to the puppies or something. Yeah. And they'd have like in the arms of and that little piano and all that, and you'd be like so sad, and you'd be like, I've got to give them money.
Yeah.
Whereas if the same advert had
exactly.
If I had Benny Hill in the background, it wouldn't have the same sort of effect, would it?
No, it wouldn't.
It's actually the intervals.
Yeah.
That's what make you feel like, oh my God.
That's true.
I've got severe empathy right now.
That's
down
true.
to the soundtrack.
That's true. There's something that sort of correlates with that, but is more about filmmaking. Is Alfred Hitchcock explains? There's a clip of James Stewart, in Rear Window, and he looks out the window like that, and he says, if I put a shot of a woman in another window holding a baby, and then it flicks back to him, and he's like. But then he says, but what if I show James Stewart looking out of his window and the woman in the other window is taking her bra off? And then it goes back to him and he's like...
Yeah. A lot more sinister.
It is, but that correlates to what you're saying about music and, the intervals and everything, they have a serious effect. I mean... You're pretty much the same as me, emotionally invested in this stuff.
Oh God, it's the only thing that gets me. Really, well, no, now I'm older, I guess I can be a bit more in tune with my emotions.
Yeah.
But music is the one thing that always gets me, and it's more the music, not even necessarily lyrics. It's old school stuff.
Same here. I've been listening recently to Bruckner's Oz Justy, which is a choral piece. I don't know if you know it, but there's a bit. There's just a bit that I just. Oh
yeah, well,
incredible.
Barber's Adagio, man.
Oh, it's beautiful
when it hits the highest peaks.
Oh,
with the violin.
incredible.
And to be fair, there's a vocal version, a choir sing it. It's phenomenal, and it's still, if I had to choose one piece of music ever, like as favorite, people would say, "What's your favorite song?" I'm like, it's not as easy as that.
Yeah,
but that piece of music has the most dramatic effect on me. It's still phenomenal. Again, like you say about the films, the musical background, how it can change perspective and how you take everything. There's a funny thing. I'm sure I've sent it to you, but you can take. A friend of mine showed me this thing. He's like, "Look at this," and it was do you remember the movie Forrest Gump? You must remember. That's quite an old one now, for youngsters, but it's an epic movie. But he's like, "Watch this," and it's Forrest Gump, the horror, and it actually starts with like. Lightning, really? And then you hear it. Mama always said dying was a part of life. And then you hear, I want to go home. And then you just see him in shadows. Like, why don't you love me, Jenny?
Oh,
and you're just like, oh God, what the hell? And then it's all about
the music.
That you've got these dulcet tones, like that, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" And Forrest Gump, the serial killer,
Jesus,
all because of a bit of editing,
the change of music,
the music,
man.
It just shows, man, music,
what you can do, the emotional power contained therein.
I've digressed a little bit here. Let me bring it back to the guitar thing here.
Good.
Anyway,
it's good.
Sorry. My first initial first time I got proper firebombed into guitar, I was like, whoa, it was the Surfing with the Alien album. Totally blew me away.
Mine was Flying in a Blue Dream.
Flying in a Blue Dream.
My brother showed me that.
Yeah, but we'll talk about our actual heroes, properly go into depth there.
Yeah.
But from there, sorry, we're getting the signal. Thank you. From there, obviously, it opened up door after door after door of not only musical inspiration, but guitar heroes and legends, which we'll move on to in a minute.
From that, it's led us to where we are now.
Oh, God, yeah.
With all of those, sort of being exposed to all of those incredible musicians has led us to go through our own life experience, but come back to it,
and we relate on all of that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
So really, man. It's all
connected,
right down to the Flying in the Blue Dream album. Bloody hell, that'll take 10 weeks to discuss that.
Oh, absolutely, it's phenomenal stuff.
We have let's continue in our little tradition. Our good partner in crime and third leg of the tripod,
genius.
That is Mr. Chris Watkins, media. Over here, do you have a question for us, dear sir?
Yeah. What's the best memory you have playing guitar?
What's the best memory we have playing guitar?
Oh, God. I mean, that could be like live performance or anything.
Oh, excuse me.
Can I go first?
Absolutely.
Okay, just one came to my mind then. I was doing a few classical guitar pieces, so classical recital thing, but a few other people were playing different instrumentalists, and I chose a few pieces by Tarragor, and one of them's Capriccio Arabe, and it was at Walton Hall. Do you know Walton Hall at all? It's not far from Stratford. It's kind of that kind of area.
Yeah.
And they've got on site. They've got this beautiful little church, and but there was a decent sized audience there, and I performed that piece, and at the end, everybody clapped and stood up. And the musical director of A-levels was there. She hated me, and she was just like,
Oh, why?
so yeah. And they didn't stop clapping.
Oh, wow.
So she turned around to me and said, you know,
there, like-
yeah, absolutely. And
Like in Platoon.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal. I'd never experienced anything like that. They just would not stop clapping. So I had to go up and, and then sat back down, and they just carried on. I'm just like, and eventually it did die down, but that was a brilliant moment because it was kind of like a fuck you to the musical director.
That's brilliant.
Because she really hated me for no apparent reason.
Isn't it weird how the best memories, they're not necessarily the ones that are the most like iconic, like playing a stadium or playing at the, whatever it can be. It's very personal.
Yeah.
I'd have to say it's hard for me to choose one, but again, like you just said, one does come to mind there. I was in, because I had a professional gypsy jazz band at one point. We toured internationally. It was going really well. It was a rock and roll band, I tell you that.
Had a few shenanigans.
I'll tell you about some of the dramas going on in that band. That's got to be quite funny. Explain them. My teammates in the band were more rock and roll than Led Zeppelin. The stuff they ended up getting to. I'll explain later. But anyway, we did a gig. So we were out in Yucca Valley, California.
Yeah.
Los Angeles over to California. We were playing all around, making our way over to Vegas. But then we played in Yucca Valley with a phenomenal musician, Bobby Fergo. I hope maybe he's watching. Absolute legend, violinist, pianist. Played for Leonard Cohen for years. It was an absolute icon. He'd set up some gigs and he played with us and stuff. But then I digress. It was just myself and Stuart, my buddy, playing guitar for this case. So it was just the two guitars, and we had a whole set of. We were kind of playing jazz standards, but a lot more elaborate and technique in there, but tuneful and room for exploration. But there was a little bit of structure. It wasn't just a melody and then you improvise and then melody, which is the jazz standard way, and then turn around and end. We'd done it. It was a little bit of a show, but there was a lot of improvisation going on. But we turn up. He'd set up a gig. He said, "Oh, we've got a great gig set up for you." This guy, I'm sorry, I forget his name, but he was a very wealthy owner of a ranch out in the up in a place near Pioneer Town, up in the mountains. And he said, "We've put on, and there's a load of people coming to see you, and it's going to be great." And we got there, and it was the most beautiful, scenic thing. It looked like it was like Boulder City, like in the Roadrunner things, and all that. You've got desert, but you've got boulders. The sun was setting, and it was just this golden sky, red golden sky. It was absolutely beautiful. We're all sat on these things, all this audience get there, and I'm like, this is going to be so great. But then Bob comes over and goes, I hope you don't mind, but Wally's going to join you. And we were like, what? Who? Wally? Who's Wally? Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, Wally." And this guy comes over, and he looked a little bit dishevelled, I got to admit, because we didn't know, but he was really tired. But his hair was like that, and he was, he had his loose clothes, and he was carrying. I want to call it a djembe, but it wasn't. It was some big sort of drum with beads on it and bells and stuff. And if you were to see him in a place like in the Cotswold, like in Stroud or something, or in Manchester, you'd be a bit like, God.
You're like, bit of a nefarious
he's
character.
A little bit,
I
was saying that, I was like, Bob, I'm not sure, man. It's just we've got quite a show. He's like, "Oh no, trust me, he'll be good. And we were just like, "Oh no." And we thought this is going to be an absolute car crash. This is going to be awful. We've got Wally who's absolutely smacked off his tits, and he's going to be ruining everything. So I had this judgment And I was just like, oh God, but I thought, well, okay, fine. It's just going to be a rubbish show, fine. And we started playing, and I just said, oh, we're just going to play. We're going to start with like, summertime, and just the two of us. And I started playing the rhythm in the background. Stuart joined in, and Wally's just like, yeah, man, yeah, no problem. And then out of nowhere, he just joins in. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, and it brought everything up 300%.
Really?
I was like, my God, he's amazing. And there was a recording. I'm going to ask Stuart if he still got it. We had no idea. And then listening to him playing, I was like, oh my God. And then I remember the sun setting, everyone just loving it. And he joined us on absolutely everything, adapted to everything. And at the end, I was like, that was amazing. You're amazing. What the hell? And he's like, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm a bit tired, man. I just got back. But he was like, I just got off the road, man. I've been with Sheryl Crow and I just got off the road. He was in Crowded House. He was with Sheryl Crow. He was with Stevie Wonder. He was with Carlos Santana or something like that. He was like one of the most, Wally Ingram, his name is.
Wally Ingram.
You have to look up. He's one of the most phenomenal percussionists, drummer I've ever seen.
Wow.
And it just shows in that surroundings, I judged him on being, is this local hippie guy? Like one of the guys down on Venice Beach or something who's off his head.
Yeah.
And it turned out, no, he was a bit tired because he'd just literally got off the road. And that right there, musically speaking, it's the synergy of a musician you've never met, but he's a professional and he feels it and it's part of who he is. And he just made us sound so much better.
Brilliant.
And then I went on to just have the greatest evening after that because I was just like, what an elated thing.
Brilliant.
Sorry, I rambled on a little bit there.
No, that's fine.
That's one of my, I've had real highlight successes, like musically speaking. But that right there, I'm just like, what an amazing time that was.
Brilliant.
And it still sits with
Just goes to show, never judge a book by its cover.
No, no, especially not because mine's knackered. Who was that question from, dearest Chris? Sorry.
So,
Oh God.
did
Should we just say thanks for the question, mate?
This is embarrassing.
try and say that.
I can say it. Oh, I can't read that. Can I take a photo and zoom in? I'm 44 years old. Why is it not taking a photo? Is this not an iPhone? Oh, there we go. Hexalydian. You
Hexalydian.
absolute ruffian. He's got a degree in music,
Oh, God.
So there's a fine gentleman here holding his guitar, and he's Hexalydian.
Thank you for the question.
Need to practice your scales, Chris. Okay. Thank you very much, Hexalydian, for that fine question. You brought out some serious nostalgia in me there.
Brilliant.
Anyway,
Great story.
yeah, we're going to digress and digress.
We will if we keep going.
I love it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
We're
so
having a great
much.
time.
As always,
Let's
it's
crack
absolutely
on.
brilliant. We've got loads more stuff to come, so let's keep it going.
Keep it going. Rock and roll. Peace
Yeah,
out.
we've got stay in power, like Barry White.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Exactly. Right. Rock and roll. Thank you very much.
Cheers.